All right. So, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the bridge, everybody. Today we are broadcasting season 5, episode 6, and we have with us Joe Maguire, and we have a visitor with us today, to Jane. Welcome, Jane. Um, so, Sandy, what quote do you have for us today?
Well, I have been watching the situation with Texas and the flooding, the flash flooding. And I have to say, my heart has just felt heavy for them. And the quote that I would like to say is, if you feel pain, you're alive. If you feel other people's pain, you're a human being. And I think, again, we as a nation want to reach out to Texas and just say our thoughts and prayers are with you.
Yes, yes, that's good. That was a very appropriate one. Thank you. So, Joe, welcome to the bridge, and I appreciate you coming on. You've got
Well,
a
thanks for
um,
having me.
yeah, and we're going to just kind of have you tell us what part of your journey you want to talk about. And I know that you're coming up to a 2-year anniversary of losing your wife, which can be really tough. So, um, why don't you kind of go ahead and start us off with where you want to start?
Let me first say, Jane, who's on there, is she's my sister-in-law and married to my brother. She's been very supportive. She
Yes.
lost her daughter a few years ago, and so she's been supportive, and as well as my whole family. My family, my brother and sister, and their siblings, and my wife's family as well. So, um, the my wife and I were born on the same day,
Wow.
same year, same.
Wow.
Uh, so we were in nursery together, and then we were baptized on the same day.
Wow.
Different parishes, but we did share that as well. Um, we went we went to the same high school, but we were in different classes because we had an October birthday, and she was the middle child of 10 kids, 9 girls, 1 boy, and so she had a huge family, and she was the prettiest one out of the whole family.
Of
And
course. Yeah.
how she ended up with me is just another story. Anyway, but I'm lucky. Her sister said, Rita, I don't know what you see in him, but we'll we'll accept him anyway. So, but we met after high school at a wedding. It was a family wedding, and we got talking, and she said, we got talking about birthdays, and she said her birthday was October 6th, and I said, oh, that's my birthday, and she said, now that's the cheesiest pickup line I've ever heard. And so she made me get my wallet out, or my driver's license. And sure enough, it was the same day, same year, same hospital.
She
Uh,
carded you.
yeah. So, and then a few years down the road, then my grandson was also born on our birthday too. So we kept it. We try to keep things simple that way.
Yeah,
So,
organized. Yeah.
yeah.
You can remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was in 2022. My wife was healthy as all get out. I mean, she had some medical issues, but no major things. And But she was having some stomach difficulty in 2022. Went to the doctor, and they decided to do a CT scan. And the doctor called November the 11th, 2022, and told her that they saw a spot on the pancreas. Her sister reads some of those, and she goes, "Oh, Rita, it's cancer." So
Wow.
Mm.
What a shock. What a shock.
Yeah, yeah.
So she battled it, and I really thought, because we were faithful people, and and I just didn't understand it because we did 4 marathons together. She did a lot of mini marathons. She walked a lot. She exercised, and I thought this is just a mistake,
Denial.
and God will heal her.
Yeah.
I really thought that for several months. My daughter is a, nurse practitioner, and she was practicing in Manhattan, New York, and she did this type of work, and so she moved home to take care of my wife. Uh, and she lasted and battled it until July 25th of 2023. It was interesting because my wife was diagnosed on her father's birthday, which was November the 11th, and she died on the same day he died, uh,
Mm.
different years, but July 25th, 2023. So, anyway,
Mm.
Well,
we were married 45 years,
mm,
and so yeah, it's just been difficult.
oh, I bet. I bet.
It still feels very raw to you, doesn't it, Joe?
Pardon?
It feels very raw to you.
Oh yes, it does. And I've 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 done well with it, but it's still, and I just read something that said uh, one of the life's most stressful events is losing a spouse,
Yeah.
and um, so that's hard. I mean, and losing children is that ranks up there too. But it's just raw. You don't, we were building a life together, and we were looking forward to retirement and doing different things. And so then it just kind of hits you there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's how life is. We have strong faith and continue to have a strong faith, and so I just praise God for the years that we had together,
Yes. Mhm.
and His grace will be sufficient for me. And one thing that I had heard that stuck with me is that I might not have gotten to live the rest of my life with her, uh, but she got to spend her life
Yeah.
with me, with the family.
Yes. Yeah. That's
Right.
right. And she was glad about that. She was
Oh,
happy.
oh, she was. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
We
And
have.
yet the hole in your heart is that you lost the love of your life.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So it's um, it's been yeah, it's been tricky there. So it's the first year that I try to do things just to keep me busy. And so I took ballroom dance lessons.
Mhm.
I took a swimming class. I exercised and did all sorts. And then I took a comedy class too. But all this was inspired by my wife because first she said I was a terrible dancer. So I decided I would do something to improve that. And then she told me I wasn't funny either. And so uh, I
Some
so
authentic feedback, huh?
I took in a comedy class, and so anyway, uh, but the second year has been harder than the first year.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
yeah, it seems, and somebody told me that, and it seems like the second year, the reality is um, she's not coming back, and it just really, you know, this is my life anyway. So, I built a life with her, shared it with her, and we were looking forward to the future, and then it was just taken away anyway. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, I have several friends that have lost their spouses just in the last 5, 6 months, and watching the process. And the first time stuff is so hard too, don't you think, Joe? I understand that you're kind of going autopilot your first year, but also those first things, turning a corner and saying they're not there to celebrate Valentine's Day with me. They're not there to do, all the holidays and all those kinds of things. We're even going to go see the fireworks on 4th of July. How did that impact you?
Oh yeah, that was hard there. I so yeah, and it's been harder on my daughter.
Oh, we freeze?
No,
No.
froze.
Oh, that's right.
Sorry. No, my daughter was so close to my wife,
Mhm.
and I've been here for her, but they had such a bond that I can't replace that, and so
Yeah.
uh, that's been really hard on
Right.
her. And so she's had a journey to New Orleans, then in Tacoma, and now she's in Los Angeles. But she just got a job back in Indianapolis, so she's coming back in a couple of weeks. Uh,
And
although
yeah, Anne joined us. Welcome, Anne. Um,
the,
that's the besides the death and the losing her, you battled through um, her journey to try to get better, and that's tough too.
oh yeah, it is, yeah. And so, but my daughter is moving back,
That's
even
awesome.
she doesn't want to. After walking the beaches in California, she goes, "Why am I moving back?" And the mountains in Washington. I did get to visit her there, and it's just beautiful in the state of Washington. That's the first time I'd been there, but but it was really nice. And so she just yesterday she goes, "I don't know why I'm moving back,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
uh,
Well, it's so. Talk to me more around how tough it was to watch her die, basically.
oh, it was that was just terrible. Uh, I don't know if it's but uh, you know, mind being around her, even though she didn't feel well, and but the hard part was at the last 10 days she was in a coma, so I
Oh,
really couldn't talk to her. But people who've lost somebody suddenly, they go through uh, uh, something much worse there too. So it's like. So I don't know which is worse there. I know it was harder for my daughter watching her mom die, and so, but that was something that I said, oh, I'd take her in this condition for a long time, but um, I know that that wasn't possible, and just watching her die was really hard.
sure, sure.
And one of the things that I remember hearing when I was in the I was with my grandfather when he passed away, and I remember the nurse practitioner saying, or the visiting nurse saying, that the hearing is one of the last things that go. And so we sang hymns for him, and we talked to him, and we loved him uh, into the new kingdom. And whatever your belief system is, we believe that we wanted to love him into that, even though he seemed comatose and was not. We couldn't tell whether he was hearing us or not. We felt like that was important for us as well as hopefully for him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we have a strong belief in heaven through our Catholic faith, and the priest came and before she was comatose and did the last rites, and then we had just a beautiful funeral, and so it was nice. Uh, you know, somebody said that it's you know, when um, you know, when you go, when you have, at first the grief is like an ocean that pulls you under, and then with time it's become more like a river to swim in. But with all that, there are waves that hit me and hit everybody.
Yeah.
Uh, so you're swimming, and then you think you're making progress, and then you get hit by a wave. And so, but that's just what we've been dealing with there. So
Yeah, and that's so true. I've got a quote on the screen. I'll show you in a little bit. But um, the thing is, you've got the ocean, you've got the river. You think you're progressing, and then it hits you. You know,
Right.
the wave hits you out of the clear blue sky. You think you're, you know, and but it's important to process and let that happen, even though, you know, I don't know how you are, but some of us are really good at kind of suppressing our feelings and not dealing with them when they're, you know, right there.
yes, no, that's exactly the truth. Especially as a man, we're not supposed to, you know, show the emotion. But uh, I got a lot of Irish in me, and so you know, I can cry at the drop of a hat, or with a uh, at a commercial. They always make fun. Anyway, they go, "Are you going to cry, Dad?" Yeah. Uh, so yeah,
Yeah.
no, and then it hits at different times. I mean, last week was really hard, and but my daughter recognized it, and she called me, and she goes, "How are you doing, Dad?" And so so she'll recognize that, and and the family has been very good, but it's difficult sometimes to be around a family and being around, not because they don't, you know, they give you support, but it's just, you know,
Yeah.
you, you see them and then you go, ah, she should be here. And especially with my wife's family, because she had such a big family. And but I find a hard time on them just because it's like she should be here.
Mhm.
Well, and I think sometimes it's hard. We feel guilty feeling joy when our person is not there to share that with us.
That's exactly.
And so I think it's kind of that guilt, even though it doesn't make sense. It's like you said, she should be here, but also having joy bubble up in your spirit. You think, well, this isn't right. Uh,
Mhm.
I shouldn't be feeling this. You have to give yourself permission, and I think there's times when you just need some space to just give yourself give yourself some space.
Mhm. Right. And not expecting it to be over with. You know,
Oh,
can I just be done with this? You know, put it in a box and,
yeah,
you know, and that's not the way it works.
yeah.
You know.
Just grief is just unexpressed love that you've gathered over the years, and she, you know, and she was so loving to uh, so many people. That she worked for the Archdiocese of Indianapolis and had so many friends there, and that and our priest knew her well, and in fact, he broke up at the funeral.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he felt it strongly. He
Yeah.
felt the pain.
And people say, I have never seen a priest cry at a funeral like he did for Rita.
Right.
I go, he really cared for her, or I think he really felt sorry for her. So, oh, you're married to Joe. I really feel sorry for you.
I
Oh,
get that.
she
Uh,
would.
The
She
thing
would.
is that we talked about earlier with another person, Joe, is that when you love deep, you hurt deep. And you wouldn't trade that for anything. You wouldn't trade the depth of your love for the pain that you feel.
exactly. Yep.
And
So
she was a blessing to everyone's life she touched.
she was, yeah, and so and everybody experiences grief. Jane lost her daughter, and I just met a woman not that long ago. Her name is Anne as well, and she lost her husband suddenly, and then her daughter. her mom, and her sister all within 60 days. So
Oh, wow.
it's like, uh, so that's you know, if you're going to if you're going to live, uh, you're going to experience grief.
That's right. That's right.
So do you feel that you're at, it sounds, Joe, like you feel like you're at the stage of acceptance at this point, even though
Oh,
it still hits you?
oh yeah, I've accepted it. There's no question about it. I mean, I accept God's will, uh, and I don't know. Uh, eh, God may have prevented her from some worse tragedy, or some different thing, and so I'll accept His will, and I know she's in heaven, and I so yeah, I've accepted it. It's just like but I wish she was here, but I know the place where she is,
Mhm.
and someday I will meet her again,
There you
and I'll be a better dancer at that time, and I'll be funnier too.
at least you hope so, right?
Yeah,
And you'll be able to dance.
exactly. Yeah, to go, where did you learn those moves? And I go, oh well,
I've been working on it. I've been
I've been
working
looking.
on it.
Not stepping on your toes anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That
We
was such
had
a
a wedding.
powerful thing that you did that first year, was to connect your activities to the things that she'd said. That's
Yeah.
good. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a good connection. Good
Yeah.
connection.
It really was anyway. And the people at the dance studio, I knew I wasn't any good, but they were encouraging. It really got me out of the house.
Uh,
Because, I was like, what am I going to do?
Right.
right.
So that really helped out.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's a positive thing to kind of force yourself to go out and do things, because other than that, you kind of just become a hermit, and it's not healthy for your mental state at all.
yeah, no, it's not. I feel bad sometimes with the if different family members invite me to different things, or friends, and if I just don't feel like it. I mean, and we had close friends. There were four couples we got together, and it's just hard getting together with them. You
Right.
know, like the odd man out. But so I just have to get past that and understand that they're my friends, and that they would want me to come with them as well.
Right. Right.
Sure.
They have
And,
a, they have a
and
heart for you.
right. And but it's okay to expand your horizons and see other people, because, new friendships will form, and, you need to go where you feel comfortable too. And they understand, because
Yeah,
often you don't know what to say.
yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's a journey. It's not the journey that we had planned. I mean, uh, but my plans and her plans are not God's plans. So for whatever reason, uh, uh, she left early, and that I'll be here and support my daughter and my son and our two grandsons and my daughter-in-law, and all of my family, my brother and and sister, and everybody there, and all of my wife's family. Like I said, there are 10 of them, so there's
Well,
nine. And nine who remain, and and they're nice people.
yeah.
So we've been blessed with good families on both sides, and I was able uh, to reconnect with Mike and Dan when I was out in Tacoma, and now with Sue, and we've been texting. So it's been nice, and I just love the country out there, and I intend to go back.
Well, good. We're glad to have you. And I want you to know that these podcasts we've been doing on grief and loss have been more listened to than any other podcast we've done. So they're really touching people's hearts. And so
Right.
you're helping somebody else to heal. in talking today, and I really appreciate that.
Well,
Um,
thank you.
So,
because
Joe, I have a question for you. You know, there again, we know that the stages of grieving, not everybody does it the same. It's individual for everybody. But did you have a stage of anger and bargaining and depression, and how did you get past that if you did end up dealing with that?
Well, I was in a grief share program, and and that was good. And we met once a week, and in fact, we're still friends. The group of us, we still are friends. So that did help, although it was hard at times because you're hearing the story of there were like 20 people, and so I would go, and then there would be new people, and so you hear a new grief story every week, and it was, oh, I can't do it, but they said, look, you got to commit to at least 3 times, which I did, and uh, then was able to be there for other people and listen to their stories and support them. So yeah, there was a time, yeah, I got angry, just it was just a few weeks ago when I was mad at my wife. I go, why did you leave me?
yeah,
Right,
So, and I know it wasn't her choice.
right, right.
but
It doesn't have to make sense. It's an emotion that's coming forward, and it's part of just being able to, work through it, I think.
well, and I think when somebody has been sick for a while, some of those stages you go through before they
Mhm.
die. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? You
Yep.
kind of process through them. It doesn't make it any easier, but you've started the journey.
Yes. Yeah.
So was
So
the grief share through church, or was it a different
yeah.
organization?
No,
Okay.
through church, through our Catholic church at Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and so there was a book that goes with it. And you did videos every week, and you went through, I don't know, it was like 12-week program anyway. So it was good, and then it ended, but at least our group was smart enough to go, look, it just can't end. So we've been meeting once a month for dinner, and that really helps. And then I've met some other people who've gone through grief, and so that's always helpful um, to to talk to other people who've experienced it.
Right. And you are getting benefit, but you're also benefiting others. And that's also a really good feeling to know that what you've gone through, you can maybe share something. It might not be a big aha, but it's just sharing a story.
Exactly. I mean,
Really
just
powerful.
just to understand what they've gone through, I think really is helpful. It may not be because people say some weird things to people who've lost a spouse or a child or lost anybody. They
Yeah.
go, "Oh, it'll get better. Oh, that's all right." But you just have to go. Look, I'm sorry, and I'll be there for you. And they recommend that you don't say, "Let me know if you need anything." You
Yeah.
just
Do
do
it. Show
it.
up. Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
remember, I remember, going through Beyond Beginning experience when I went through a divorce 40 years ago, and I had 3 babies, three little kids, and I was really devastated. A lot of rejection and that kind of thing going on. And I remember that group of people that I did a weekend retreat with, and they were so helpful for months afterwards because exactly what you're talking about. You build. There's nothing I don't think there's anything that brings you together as a group and a bonding experience as sharing grief, sharing tough times together. And it made a huge difference in me being able to move forward. And it was through the Catholic Church, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, just talking to somebody where you understand they have experienced grief,
Right.
uh, you have a connection without talking about it. It's just like they've gone through grief, and
Mhm.
you've experienced grief. They understand, and you have that connection.
Yeah.
Right. And everybody's story was different because it was a loss of relationship, whether it was through divorce or death or whatever. But there was a common thread through all of that that connected you as a community.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Common emotions connect us more deeply than words.
Yes.
They really do, because there's just kind of a core piece there. And, it doesn't have to be the same thing that you went through, but it is the same emotion.
There's a
That's
thread.
Really
exactly
good.
right.
So, Joe, I've got the quote I was telling you about on the screen over here, and it says, "Grief is like the ocean. It comes in waves, ebbing and flowing. Sometimes it's overwhelming. All we can do is learn to swim."
That's very
And, yeah, and it's not about getting over it, because there's not getting over it. You're not
no.
ever going to get over it, and
I,
that's sometimes all people need to hear is, "Don't worry, you're not going to get over it."
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That and I don't want to get over.
No.
I want to keep her memory alive.
Yes, absolutely.
But I think Joe, that you're doing it in healthy ways, though, in the fact that you are not stagnant in your life. You have gone forward and found ways that you can honor her by doing things that help you be healthy and be able to be actually a legacy for your wife.
Yeah.
People can see how you are handling this, and you know how she wants you to handle it, and you're trying to do it well.
Right. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that legacy is being passed on to your grandkids, even without her presence there.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
powerful. That's powerful.
They. I know she's in heaven cheering us on.
Yes, absolutely. She's listening to this podcast,
That's right.
wondering what it looks like to watch you dance.
Yeah.
So, Joe, the last thing we do when we end the podcast is I ask the question, what's one takeaway from this conversation we've had today? So I'm going to ask Jane and Ann to join us too, but Joe, I'm going to let you go first. What's one takeaway?
Oh, just the importance of communication. This has been good for me to be able to, even though it's hard. I mean, but I knew I would choke up, but I choke up at everything. Um, but but just being able to talk to people who will understand your story and understand how deep it was
Yeah,
Yeah.
to me.
yeah,
So that's the takeaway: the communication, the love.
yeah,
That's right. That's
yeah.
right.
There's not a whole lot we can do to mend that kind of a broken heart, because it's
Exactly.
deeply felt. But conversation and communication and love helps. Jane, have you got anything, a takeaway that you can share with us?
Well, I'm just so proud of Joe for just getting out there and doing things and being active and meeting people. I know Rita would want him to do that. And I entered the family kind of late in life. Um, Very fortunate to know Joe and to have known Rita. And of course, to know Rita is to love Rita. And I loved and admired their relationship. um, it was just a beautiful thing to observe. Of course, I loved Annie and loved getting to know her and anxious to have her back here. But I just I know grief is different to it's an individual thing, and I think Joe has been handling it with a lot of grace. And I know it's hard, Joe, for you to go on, but you are. You're going on. And I'm proud of you and love you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Ann, something you want to close with? Nope. Maybe she's not hearing.
Yeah, she's at work right now, so she can't talk, I don't think. She's just listening in.
Okay. All right. Well, hi, Ann. Glad to have you here. Sandy, take away.
Well, this is an old adage. that we've heard throughout our lives, but to love and loss is better than to not have loved at all. In other words, if you love deeply, how much better than never to have felt it.
Yeah, that's a good word.
That's very
And
good.
Joe, I just have a sense of how proud Rita is of you, and you're on Earth, you're passing on the legacy, and that makes her smile.
Wow. I hope so. That's what.
So I just want to thank you again for sharing with us, Joe, and Jane and Ann. If you guys want to come on sometime on the bridge, you're welcome. Like I said, these stories really touch people at the heart, and really heal them. So I'm going to turn us off in a minute, but I want, Joe, I want you to hang in there for a little bit because we're
Okay.
going to kind of do a different debrief afterwards, okay?
Thank you
Thank
guys
you. Yeah.
for inviting me. It's great.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Anne. I got your little text message. It's hard for me to keep looking around the screen and finding all these things. Okay, goodbye, everybody.
Okay.
Bye-bye.